Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a Pizza Hut restaurant. Oh, and by the way, just in case you have any more building related needs, I highly recommend that you check out the card system. If you like this particular building, I'm linking you an entire playlist which will be filled with loads of stuff just like this. Plus, I'll link a few other videos that I think that you guys will really be into. But moving on, if you want to make Pizza Hut, here's what you're going to need. Grab yourself some block of quartz and some birchwood planks, then grab bricks, then some cyan stained clay, grab yourself some quartz stairs, some red wool, grab yellow, dark green wool, and finally guys, grab yourself some black wool. Now, we will need a few more materials later on, but for now, these are going to have to do us. So once you have each one of these right here, and once you've figured out where you want to make it, I'll be making it right here, you're going to want to kick this off with this sequence of blocks coming directly up from the ground. You want to do 3 bricks, that's 1, 2, 3, followed by 8 birchwood planks, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then place a black wool on top of that and do 3 upright diagonals, that's 1, 2, 3. Then go right by 6, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then do 3 bottom right diagonals, that's 1, 2, 3. Take out your birchwood planks and go down by 8, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Take out your bricks and go down to the ground, that should be 3, 1, 2, and 3. Then, from the bricks that touches the ground, you want to go left by 2. Then, go up on top of that second brick by 2, 1, 2. Then, go up by 7 with your birchwood planks, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then go left by 8, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then go down by 6, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then go down with your bricks until you reach the ground. So what you want to eventually end up with should look like a nice archway shape like this. What we now want to do is underneath our pretty archway, this horizontal row of birchwood planks that we have right here, well, coming down from this, we want to, underneath it, do an 2 entire rows of red wool. That'll be 1 and 2. We then want to do an entire row of black wool, followed by an entire row of dark green wool. We then want to take this middle row right here, extend it down to the ground. We want to do the same with the left and right hand rows, so we're essentially forming what looks like an M shape, like this. What we then want to do is we want to kind of like cut this M in half, and we want to do it with like block of quartz. So going from like left to right or right to left, we just want to do block of quartz, like cutting the M shape in half. We should end up with something that should look like this. We're not done yet. We now want to add cyan stained clay on top of each one of those individual black walls that we have right at the top there. So we kind of just want to give our archway a hat, like this. What we also want to do is we kind of just want to fill in the center of the archway. So where we have like bricks at the bottom here, we kind of just want to fill in this sort of bottom area with bricks. And we want to do the same with the birchwood planks. So where you have like bricks, you want to fill in with bricks, and where you have birchwood planks, you just want to fill in with birchwood planks. And we should eventually end up with something that should look, and you guys are going to see this in just a moment, of course, you want to end up with something that should look a little bit like this. Once you've got that taken care of, it's now time for us to actually make this a little bit more 3D. So what we now want to do is we want to take each one of the bricks, birchwood planks, and the cyan stained clay, and we want to drag each one of those materials towards us, each by one row. So we just want to do that with the birchwood planks, the bricks, and the cyan stained clay. So you guys will be able to see what we're doing up here. You don't want to do this with the... Actually, you do want to do it with the black wool. I've told a lie. You want to also do it with the black wool. We're going to be doing something different with the cyan stained clay in just a second. So, also do it to the black wool. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, guys. I apologize. But you do also want to do it with the black. So, we're just dragging each one of those materials. So, that's now bricks, birchwood planks, cyan stained clay, and the black wool. So, everything that's not like directly the entrance, essentially, we just want to drag forward. And you'll end up with something that should look a little bit like this. Perfect. Now, where I was getting ahead of myself is you now want to take the cyan stained clay and you just want to drag that forward again by 1 row. So the cyan stained clay, essentially you want to drag forward by 2 rows like this. What we now want to do is take out our red wool and we want to, you see this very first row of red that we placed up here, like just above the entrance? Extend this out by 1 row. Coming out by 1. Take the second row, extend it out by 2, so that'll be 1 and 2. Take the row of black underneath it and extend it out by 3, so that'll be 1, 2, and 3. So that's just like one of those overhang things that overhangs doors. Not entirely sure what it's for, to be 100% truthful. Once you've got that taken care of, you've pretty much completed the entrance part of Pizza Hut. Everything from now all the way up until the logo is actually quite easy. So once you've got that taken care of, this is what you want to do next. Take out your old pale bricks. Come to the left hand side of the entrance. Remember this very first brick that we placed? It's this one right here. You guys can see it quite easily. Well, you want to take this brick and you want to go left of it on the ground by 23 with your bricks. That's 2, 3, 23. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Just like that. And what you also want to do is the exact same thing on the opposite side. So we want to come to the opposite side now. So literally the exact opposite side, this one right here. Go right of it this time by 23. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. And this time, what we're going to do is we're going to take this 23rd block and we want to go towards the back. So if we take a sideways view, it's actually easier to see it from this. We want to take this 23rd block and we kind of want to go right of it by 18 in total. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Not only do we want to do this to this side, but we really also should have done it to the opposite side. So we want to come to the opposite side now, and we want to take this 23rd block and extend it back by 18. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And then connect each one of those 18th blocks together, and that'll kind of give you like the floor plan for Pizza Hut. So we just want to end up with something that should look, slowing down my talking so it ends, that should look a little something like like this. So you can see that we have a nice big rectangular shape with an entrance at this moment in time. Once you've got that taken care of, this is what you want to do next. So now that we have the floor plan, it's time for us to build up the walls a little bit. So on top of the very first row of bricks that you've placed, throw another layer on top of it. Just go all the way around on top of that layer with your bricks and just add an additional layer. Unfortunately, I did want to build up like the entire front of Pizza Hut and then like the left hand side and the right hand side all individually, but unfortunately, like I said, we just have to do this first and then we can mess about with things a little bit more specifically. So after we have actually messed around with the bricks, we're going to be doing literally the very front. We'll start with the left, we'll move on to the right, and then we can focus on things that are a little bit more interesting. So once you have completely added that entire layer of bricks on top of the very first layer, here's what we're going to do next. Come all the way over to the front left hand side of Pizza Hut. Starting from on top of this very left hand corner block, going right, do this sequence of blocks. Do 5 birchwood planks, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then do a green wall. Then leave a gap of 3 because we don't have the necessary material. Actually, you know what? Get rid of block of quartz for a while. Grab yourself some black stained glass. Now you have the material. Instead of leaving a gap of 3, do 3 black stained glass. So that's 1, 2, 3. Then do a green wall. then 3 more glass, that's 1, 2, 3, then green wool, and then make the entire rest of that row birchwood planks. So you want to have something which should look like that. Now, not only do you want to have that for one row, but you actually want to do that 2 more times. So we're now just going to build up that row 2 additional times, every single material in that row, and then we can move on to the next bit. So we're just dragging all of these up. Actually, once we've finished these 2 rows, we're going to be doing the exact same thing on the right hand side, as a matter of fact. The most irritating part about this, of course, is going to be the glass panes. So we have just done that. Perfect. So you want to have this row 3 times in total, not only on the left, but we also want it on the right as well. So let's come all the way over to the right hand side here, and starting from this time on the very front right hand corner, coming left, we want to do this sequence of blocks. Do 5 birchwood planks, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 1 green wool, 3 glass, 1 green wool, 3 glass, 1 green wool, then make the rest of the row birchwood planks, and then of course do the exact same thing 2 additional times, because we want to have that in total 3 times. So 1 plus 2 equals 3, obviously, so we just want to do that 2 more times. And we've just got to the most irritating part once again, which is going to be the glass, and you guys can see why I hate this. You guys might be able to tell, not my favourite material to use, glass, but you can see that we just want to have the exact same thing on the right hand side as we do the left, and it should be all nice and even. Now, once you've got that taken care of, this is what we're going to do next. So now make your way all the way over to the very left hand side of your building. Going left of this bottom birchwood plank that we have right here, so going left towards the back of the building, you want to do this sequence of blocks. You want to do 4 birchwood, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. You then want to do 1 dark green, then 3 glass, 1 dark green, 3 glass, 1 dark green, and then the rest of the row wants to be birchwood planks. So not too dissimilar to what we've done 1 time or 2 times already. Then what you want to do is add 2 additional layers of that row on top of itself. So again, very much how we just did on the front, you want to do the very same thing on this side as well. So we just want to do this 2 more times. We've just about finished it already. We're just adding the glass on top, and you want to end up with something that, again, isn't too dissimilar to what we have on the front, except ever so slightly smaller scale. Once you've got that taken care of, this is what we have to do next. So we now have to take the birchwood planks, and we have to do 3 layers of birchwood planks going all the way around the top of the brick layer. So what we're essentially doing is we're basically just filling in the rest of the area which doesn't really have anything there. So, like, to make everything even with the tops of the windows, we're just adding the 3 layers of birchwood planks. Then after that, we have just 2 more rows to add before we can begin work on the roof. This is actually taking very little time whatsoever. As I did mention at the very start of this video, actually, it's not a hard building. The only difficult part is really the entrance and the logo. The logo is going to be no fun to make whatsoever. Take it from me. I designed it. It's no fun to make. I didn't have any fun designing it. I didn't have any fun replicating it either. So we've just about finished the 3 layers of birchwood planks we have. So now everything is nice and even. What we then want to do, going all the way around the top of the restaurant once more, we now want to add a layer of black walls. So this is going all the way around the top this time, because now everything is equal. We just want to go all the way around the top of the restaurant with black, and then, spoiler, we're then going to do it with yellow as well. And then we have to do some crazy things with red. I say crazy things, it's not crazy at all. It's not even remotely fun. The next bit is going to be no fun whatsoever. Once we've actually built up the walls as we are, the next bit is going to be the roof. And like I've said a couple of times already, which should probably reinforce how unenthusiastic I am about it, the roof is going to be no fun to do. So we've done the layer of black, and Now, to make it look a little bit more like a bumblebee, our honey-bearing brethren, we want to add a layer of yellow on top. So, on top of the black, add a layer of yellow. So, we're just doing that, we're going all the way around, and then things are going to get a lot less fun in just a moment. Don't worry, it will get less fun. It's going to... I'm not lying, it's going to hold up to its end of the bargain. It's not going to be any fun whatsoever. I don't know why I'm saying that. Don't worry, it's going to be terrible. I don't know why I'm advertising that, but it's going to be, trust me. It's one of my least favourite things to do, this next part. So, we have just added the layer of yellow on top of the wall. So we have the layer of black, we have the layer of yellow. What we now want to do is this. So, take out your red wall. One row higher than the layer of yellow, yet one row outwards, so right here where I kind of like have it highlighted on the entrance, we want to do a layer of red wool that goes all the way around the top outside of the building. So we want to do a layer of red that goes all the way around the top outside of the building. This will be the very first row of the roof. As you guys might be aware if you've ever seen a Pizza Hut before, the roof's kind of like it's kind of like McDonald's really, the roof, except it has a big giant thing coming out of like the top center part of it. I'm not entirely sure why it is. It doesn't even, actually it does kind of look cool. It does kind of look cool. I was going to say it doesn't even look good, but honestly, it kind of does. It kind of does. So, we've just about finished the first layer of red, so we just want to have something which should look like this. That's one row higher, one row outwards in relation to the row of yellow. What we now want to do is this. One row higher, yet this time one row inwards, we want to do a layer of red. But, we don't only want to do this once. Oh, no. That'd be too damn easy. We want to do this 6 times in total. So, just to give you guys an idea, that's like the first time. And then this will be the... Oh my god, this is so irritating. This will be the second. Then we'll have to do it a third. Fourth, that took ages. Fifth. And 6th. There we go. So we're going to want to do this in total 6 more times. And it's going to end up in a shape that should look like this. So not only do you want to do this, as I said, as I keep parroting, not only do you want to do that once, you now want to do this 6 more times. And that is 1 row inwards and 1 row higher in relation to the original roof. So the original layer of red that started off the roof, the very first row, you want to do that 6 more times, 1 row inwards, 1 row higher. I mean, I couldn't really spell it out any easier for you guys. I literally just built a little guideline with how it's going to go all the way over there. So, yeah, this is going to take a while. This is going to probably be the most time-consuming part of this entire build, honestly, building the roof, or at least the most time-consuming part, which is like its own individual part, probably going to be this. So I'm not entirely sure, because I did do this on Dunkin' Donuts, I'm not entirely sure whether to kind of like fast forward ahead to once I've actually done this. I think I'm actually going to. So, guys, what you need to do, you already know. We've already got it laid out for us. Once you've done the very first part of the roof, the very first layer, you want to do that 6 additional times. 1 row higher, 1 row inwards. I'm going to cut this out of the video because I don't want to have any extra individual... What am I talking about? I don't want to have any additional content in here that's not really necessary because I don't want to elongate the video despite the fact I'm doing that now. So I'm going to go away and I'm going to be back once I've actually added in all of these layers for myself. I only have 3 more to do after this one, so 4. I'll be back in just a second once I myself have added all of these layers in. Okay, so this is what it should look like once you have done each one of those 6 individual layers right after the first one. And as I promised, I'm sure it was no fun for you either. So, once you, like me, have reached this point right here, this is what we're going to take care of next. So, we have to fill the roof in a little bit first before we can start tampering with it. So, starting from both the left and right hand sides, we want to do rows of 9 coming inwards. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like this, and you can imagine the rest. So we just have to keep doing rows of 9 until we come towards the center of the roof. We have to fill these bits in because what we're going to have in the very center of the roof, it looks like a big giant rectangular shape poking out, a nice big giant 3D rectangular shape, and that's where like the logo is and a nice part of the roof. So we're now on the right hand side, the left hand side has been filled in. We want to do a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then we just want to fill in each one of those rows, don't we? So we have cut down the open space of the roof significantly by the time that we have filled in the left and right hand side. So it wants to look a little something like this. You want to have this shape cut out of the roof essentially. So once you've got that taken care of, this is what we're going to do next. On top of the 9th block, so the rows of 9 that we have, on top of this 9th block here that is closest to the front of the roof, on top of the one that is closest to the back of the roof on the right hand side, and on top of the 2 that are on the right hand side, the back and the right, we want to do 2 rows, or rows of 2 I should say, rows of 2 red wool coming up from each one of those 9th blocks. So you kind of want to have like the outline for a rectangle, kind of just like planted on top of your roof. And then what we want to do is connect each one of those red blocks together. Guess what? Going around in a rectangular pattern. So you guys can see how we kind of arrived at that. We want to fill this in until we have like 2 rows of a rectangle. That's exactly how it's going to look. So we want to go all the way around the outside of these, and you can see that we've arrived at this quite easily. There was probably a better way to do this, actually, thinking about it, but that's the only way that sprung to mind as we just hit this point right here. But we've just about filled in the 2 layers of rectangular shape that we want to have, and you should end up with something that should look a little bit like this, which, as you can see, is a lot more Pizza Hut-y, isn't it? So once you've got that taken care of, this is what you want to do next. Take out your birchwood planks, and starting from inside any one of the 4 corners, it really doesn't matter, you want to have a row of 7 birchwood planks come in directly up from each one of the 4 corners of your Pizza Hut. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. On the right hand side as well, that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and here we also want to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we just want to connect each one of those 7 blocks together. So very much how we just did with the red wool, I suppose, we also want to do the same thing with the birchwood plank. So we're going to connect these all together, and it will make a nice rectangular shape. So once we've completed this, we do also have to add a couple more things to it, but then all we have to do is add the logo, and then the actual base building for Pizza Hut is going to be complete. This doesn't feel like it's taken too long whatsoever. It's actually been a pretty quick build, really, all the way up until now. So we've just about filled in the first face of this birchwood plank rectangle thing. We've just about filled in the first face. Then we're going to do the side. I'm going to start with the left hand side first of all, then I'll do the back, then I'll do the right hand side, and then we can move on to the next bit. So it's all going to be good, isn't it? Whoops, what am I doing? I'm placing blocks left, right, and center. This is just making things more difficult. So that's the left-hand side filled in now. Just going to do the very first row of the back of our nice big birchwood rectangle, and then we can move on to the next bit. So the bit after this, I keep talking about the logo as if it's the hardest thing that anybody's ever made, but it's not actually. I don't know why. It's just a little bit more complicated than everything else on this building, and I think that that's why I'm talking it up a little bit. It's not actually so difficult whatsoever. Really, the difficult part about it is the fact that it's kind of difficult to tutorial, but we'll just take each letter at a time, and I'm sure that we'll be fine. We won't run into too much of a significant issue. Oh, we're also going to need enough material. we're going to need another material. How did I not realise that? But we are. We're definitely going to need another material. So that's the back part of the birchwood rectangle filled in. We're just filling in the right-hand side now. And once we've filled in the right-hand side, we want to end up with something that should look a little bit like that. So I guess I could show you guys a little bit of a better, more 3D view. There we go. Once you have your birchwood rectangular shape, you then want to stack a layer of black wool directly on top of it. So stack a layer of black directly on top of your birchwood planks. Go all the way around the top of it, and then we can move on to the next bit. The next bit is it's going to be quite easy as well. We're going to use our cyan, but I'll tell you about that in just a moment since we've just about reached this point. So on top of your birchwood planks, stack a layer of black wool. Then take out your cyan clay, and one row higher and one row outwards. You guys already know this. One row higher and one row outwards in relation to your black wool. You want to go all the way around the top of your black wool. So you guys can see we just want to, with our cyan clay, just go all the way around the top of your pizza hut. So we're just going all the way around the black wall, and you just want to end up with something that should look a little bit like this. And I know this looks a little bit weird, actually empty, or at least it does to me, but that is what you want to have, guys. Once you've got that taken care of, this is what you want to do next. So come to the front bottom left hand corner of your birchwood plank rectangle. So we're here, we're on the front bottom left hand corner. Do 2 black wool coming up in front of this corner, so that's 1, 2. Then continuing to go up, do 3 upright diagonals, that's 1, 2, 3. You can then go right for a random amount of blocks. Actually, yeah, just go right a few blocks, it doesn't really matter. What we now want to do is we want to take this very first black wall that we placed coming up in our row of 2, drag this all the way over to the right hand side. All the way over to the right hand side, it will take a little while. Give it time. There we go. So it wants to hit the bottom right hand corner of the front of our rectangle. On top of this block that hits the bottom right hand corner, we want to go up on top of it by 1. We then want to do 3 up left diagonals, that's 1, 2, 3, and then we want to go left until we eventually hit where we were on the opposite side. So we kind of want to have a shape which should look a little bit like this. What we now need to do is discard the black stained glass pane because we don't need it anymore, and you want to grab yourself some red stained clay. Take out your red stained clay, come all the way over to the left hand side again, and starting from this very first row coming across to the right, we want to do a row of 6 red stained clay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then for the next row, starting from the left hand side again, but we're on the next row going right, we want to do a row of 4, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then above that, we just want to do a row of 2, so that's 1, 2. So we want to have this shape. What we can now do is just completely fill the rest of the area in with black wool. That's all we have to do, fill the rest of the area in with black wool, and then we can move on to the next bit. So we're just filling this in with black, and everything will be just fine. So there we go. We want to end up with something that should look a little bit like this so far. Now it's time for us to actually write Pizza Hut. So a few materials that should probably go together, and I'm just going to discard all of mine because it doesn't really matter. So a few materials that want to go together. We need block of quartz and quartz stairs together. We're also going to need yellow wool and dark green wool. They're the only materials that we really need for this logo. So once you've got each one of those all next to each other to make it easy, we want to come all the way over to the left-hand side again. Okay, so in line with this very first row of red stained clay that we placed, starting from the left-hand side, we want to find the third red clay coming over to the right, so that's 1, 2, 3. Place a quartz in front of it, that's a block of quartz. Then go up by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then go right 1. Place a quartz stairs. Then go down 1 with your block of quartz. Place an upside down quartz stairs. Then go left 1 with your block of quartz. That is the P in your Pizza Hut. Then, starting bottom right diagonally from this upside down quartz stairs, we want to place a regular facing quartz stairs in this position. We then want to place a block of quartz underneath it. Then 2 blocks up from that quartz stairs that you placed in the eye, then 1 block going right, we want to place a dark green wall. Then going right of that dark green wall, we want to do 2 quartz. We then want to go down 1, bottom left diagonal, down 1, go right. That's the Z. We then want to do another Z, 1 row, well, I guess 2 rows to the right, so leaving a gap of 1 from the first Z. So starting from the top here, we leave a gap of 1. We then want to go right by 2 of the quartz, down 1, bottom left diagonal, down 1, right 1. That's the second Z. We now have to do an A, so we want to, in between this empty space that we have for this right hand Z, we want to leave a gap of 2. On top of this third block, we want to place a quartz, do an upright diagonal, bottom right, bottom left diagonal. We then want to fill this bottom right hand diagonal space in with block of quartz. We then want to place a stairs, a regular facing stairs going that way. We then want to do an upside down stairs in the bottom left hand side, regular facing stairs on the top left hand side, and a regular facing stairs on the top right hand side to form an A. Then, starting from the stairs that we have on the bottom right hand side of our A, leaving a gap of 1, we want to place 4 quartz coming up, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. We then want to take the second quartz block, go right by 2, extend it down 1, up 2. Then take the quartz stairs and going left of this second quartz block that we placed, we want to place an upside down stairs going left. Then, leaving a gap of 1 between the H and the next letter, which is U, we want to leave a gap of 1 like I said, and in the 2 middle blocks of the H you want to do 2 regular quartz blocks. Then starting from the bottom one, we want to do a bottom right diagonal, up right diagonal, up 1. We then want to do upside down quartz underneath each one of those 2 empty spaces in the bottom left and bottom right diagonal. We then, starting from the top right hand side of the U, we want to place a regular facing stair, which might be difficult to do here. A regular facing stair. We then, going right of that stair, want to place a quartz block. Then an upside down stairs going that way. We then, on top of the quartz, we want to go up 1 and we want to go down 2. So we want to have something which should so far look a little bit like this. That is Pizza Hut actually written out. But we are missing something. So what we now want to do is take out our yellow wool and starting from underneath the T and coming all the way over until we connect diagonally with the bottom part of the P, we want to have a row of yellow wool that runs from all the way over from the left all the way over to the right, like this. Now, once you've got that taken care of, this is what you want to do next. Nothing. Because you have completed the build. Unless, of course, you didn't add the glass into the entrance. That's what we have to do. Completely forgot about that. So, once you've actually completed the logo, that is the last physical part of the building that you actually have to do. You should be left with something that should look a little bit like this. That's Pizza Hut, guys. That's the actual building of Pizza Hut. Once you've got that taken care of, that's it. That's the actual building complete. And that is where this tutorial ends. But what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to flip over to my original world and I'm going to show you the original version of my Pizza Hut, because that one I've actually messed about with the interior and I've messed about with the exterior just a little bit as well. Just a tiny little bit for the exterior. I've not done too much whatsoever, but I'm going to flip over, show you guys the original one, and it might just give a couple of you guys who might not entirely have any idea what to do with the inside and outside. It might give you guys a couple of ideas how to actually mess about with it, and you guys might be able to expand on it. So that's the tutorial portion of this over, guys. That is the actual building of Pizza Hut. Not so difficult, was it? Once you've got that taken care of, that is it for, well, the actual building part. So back in a moment, let me show you the original version. So we're now in my creative world number 7, and welcome to the original version of my pizza. As you can see, a couple of things have changed. The outside has been messed about with just a little bit, barely any, and the inside has been tampered with significantly. So let's take a look at the inside, and then we'll move to the outside, and I can talk about things a little bit. So the inside, as you can see, has been changed completely. As you can notice, first of all, there's actually stuff inside here now. So the ground ripped it up, replaced it with virtual planks. Most materials would work, but I wanted to go with virtual planks just to keep a kind of theme going. As you can see, for the roof and the lighting, I've kind of like, I decided to go with something a little bit different this time. I have like rows of glowstone as usual, because these buildings get very, very dark, and I have rows of glowstone, and in between those I have just like regular white stained glass, and you can actually see up inside of the roof, and I actually think that that's kind of a cool effect. And used sparingly around the building itself, we have some torches as well. Honestly, there should be some more, because this place is still dark. That's something to note. Most of these buildings are just about always dark. On the right hand side here we have a couple of toilets. Obviously these should have doors and signs, but just to show you guys, like, this is how a toilet would be laid out. Might even want a door on this if you were so inclined. Kind of like a sinky, dry hand area. Not done too well, but just used to kind of like represent that these are actually toilets. I didn't want to go into too much detail, obviously. This one doesn't even have water in it. It's not even operational, but obviously they'd have doors on, they'd have signs if you were actually going to use this. Over here on the right hand side, very back right hand corner of the building, which is why there's no windows here, is this is where you'd like order your pizza. That's like a big giant menu that we have in the back. Obviously not done to a massively high standard, because obviously I'm never going to enter this building again other than maybe a world tour. So that's like where you'd order your food, you order your menu, you give the guy the money. Really, there should be a cash register in the form of a quartz stair. We also have, so you can actually like come behind here if you so wanted to, and you can also come to the kitchen. This is where the kitchen would be. This is where they cook all of your pizzas and stuff, and wherever else you might order some nice garlic bread, or maybe some cheesy bites or some dough balls, something delicious and tasty. They'd all be cooked here. Obviously you pay them, they throw the food at you, you throw them money, you both run away in disgust. So this little area, this is, you know, like I said, that's where you get your food, that's where you that's where you get rid of your food, and then this is where you eat your food. So we just have a couple of booths here in the corner, and against the walls we have mainly booths actually. We don't have any like free tables really. These are made very simply. You can definitely do better versions of these, better versions than I did. I just wanted to, like I said, represent what you could actually put inside here. All the way over in the back left hand corner we have something a little bit interesting, and this is kind of like a little bit of a salad bar. And I also wanted to do an ice cream bar here, because one of the many reasons to go to Pizza Hut is, of course, you get to have all you can eat ice cream. That is, well, I should have really have made one here, but I just didn't know how to make it. I wanted to make like an all-you-can-eat ice cream bar in the front left-hand corner, but I didn't do it. But this is kind of like the salad bar, and where you'd grab all of that stuff, and that really concludes the inside of Pizza Hut. So if you were wondering to yourself, how should I actually lay this out? What should I include? Add an ice cream bar, add a salad bar, throw yourselves some tables all over the place, add a couple of toilets, male and female, I would always suggest. Have a little reception area, and also have a kitchen, and there you have pretty much everything you want. I definitely light this place up. This definitely isn't the only way to do it, of course. You could have this, if you wanted to, you could just have like this like in the very center, you could have it at the front, you could have it at the back. This isn't the only way to make this. You can make it any way you want, but this is just for people that have absolutely no idea what to do, very much like myself, and they just want and those of you that just want like a little bit of an idea how to get started, where to start. So that's the inside. Nothing really too much to say about that anymore. What did we do to the front? Well, on the front we kept it very simple. You can see that we have kind of like an entrance area, we have an entrance path, that's in line with the doors. Here we use stone bricks on the outside, and we use what is this? What material? Polished and I've already forgotten what it's called. Andesite. Never even read that before. So we have stone bricks and polished andesite for the entrance. Looks quite nice, actually. I really like the material. On the left and right hand sides of the entrance, the free spaces, we have kind of like we have some rose bushes in kind of like a zigzaggy in a zigzaggy formation. I quite like those. It almost looks like Zorro has been and christened my Pizza Hut. And then obviously in front of the left and right hand sides of Pizza Hut we have a couple of parking spaces which look quite good. I realize that this one's small. This isn't a parking space. This is just like ground. If you wanted to, you could obviously dig all the way around your Pizza Hut. You could add in a drive-through if you wanted to, but I can't imagine a Pizza Hut with a drive-through. At least I've never been to one that has one. I'm sure that you can, though. I'm sure that they exist somewhere, probably in America if I had to guess, maybe big cities, but I just wanted to do the front. I didn't want to add anything going around it. I wanted to keep this general shape. I also did a jungle leaves going all the way around the outside, as you can see. That actually looks quite nice, I think. I mean, everything that I've done to the outside is basically to enhance the colour, to throw a little bit more colour at it, to make it look a little bit more interesting, and to make it be... What is grammar today? Grammar is going straight out the window, and I just wanted to make it a little bit more functional. So that's the inside, that's everything I've done to the outside. Why don't we take off the interface, have a nice little 360 spin, and we can talk about this a little bit. So this is Pizza Hut. Hopefully you guys like it. Hopefully you've managed to make it, and if you've done both of those things, I'd really appreciate it if you could give this video a like, a favourite, a share, anything you'd feel like doing to help me out, guys. I would just always vastly appreciate. This actually took, despite the fact that it's not really a big building, it doesn't take as long to make as my other big, giant, real-life buildings, this was quite difficult to design, as you might imagine. The logo itself was actually pretty tricky to do, but I actually put a lot of effort into this. I went through a few different kinds of buildings until I found the shape that I wanted, and I honestly think that this looks quite amazing. This is one of my favourite real-life buildings. If I could have included this, or at the very least featured it in my top 5 buildings of 2015. Obviously this is 2016, this is when I built it, I would have. This is a fantastic building. It's incredibly realistic to the actual Pizza Hut that I built this off of Google Images, and hopefully you guys just like it as much as I do. So like, favourite, share if you wouldn't mind, comment down below what real life building would you like to see me make next. Always taking suggestions from you guys. As a matter of fact, every single one of my real life buildings, bar none, have been made due to suggestions in the comment section. So let me know, guys, what do you want to see me make? Check out the card system for more buildings like this. I would highly recommend my real life buildings tutorial playlist. There are loads of them in there now. Thank you very much for watching. Like, favourite, share if you wouldn't mind, and I'll see you in the next video.